Hey, what's up guys, Omar Farouk here. In this video, I'm going to show you how you can create a super functional e-commerce store in Framer using their native CMS super easily and in hardly any time at all. Now, for those of you who don't know what Framer is, it's a powerful tool that allows you to create websites collaboratively with your team on an infinite canvas with all of your screen sizes laid out so you can have a very efficient design process. If you don't have a Framer account already, don't worry, it's free to use. Just click the link below in the description, sign up, get an account, and come back on this video and follow along with me. All right, so let's jump in. All right guys, so we're inside our new Framer file. We're about to design the entire e-commerce website. And we're gonna do this really quickly by using Framer's pre-made components. You can find this in the insert menu. So you can see under basics, you got your pages, sections, and navigation, right? So once we got the entire structure and design laid out for your e-commerce website, we'll then go ahead and go into the CMS to create our entire product catalog. The CMS being a content management system, of course, usually is used for a blog to develop your entire blog and manage the content. But in this case, we're going to use it to manage your entire product catalog. So you can add new product items, edit previous ones. And in fact, it becomes a fully scalable and functional e-commerce solution. So let's jump straight into it. Now, firstly, I'm in the home page. I want to take this and size the width to my best practice, which is I usually go for 1440 width. I just prefer starting at that size. I'll then generate the mobile responsive sizes, the tablet size and the phone size from this add menu. So there we go. We've got all the sizes laid out. This is the benefit of Framer. Of course, you can see everything in one place. We'll now flesh out the site by using these pre-made components from Framer. The basics library, you can go to navigation. We'll add the top navigation, go back to insert. We'll add some sections like a hero section, a social proof area for logos, and your main feature product section. So featured product section, we're going to use these cards to do that. Let's go back to insert. Let's add some reviews. Why not? Back to insert, FAQs, very typical. Back to insert. Let's go and add the footer now at the very end. Oh, wrong place. Let's arrow down to move it to the bottom. There we go. So off the bat, you can see this component library is fully responsive. So there's not much responsive work that we need to do, which is great. I'm not happy with the size of this title. We'll go to styles and choose subtitle. Great. So that gives more contrast to the main title over here. Now, this is an e-commerce website, so I want to make sure that there's a product image at the top fold or product banner. So to do this, what I'll do is go to layout, find image, and drag an image over here at the bottom. I'll set the width to fill. I'll also stack these, go to layers and stack the button with these three texts. In fact, we don't need the button, so I'll delete that. And we'll take these two texts and frame it. We'll add a layout to it and we'll set the direction to horizontal. We'll also set fill to set it to fill. We'll set the title to fill as well. And I want the text to be aligned to left. In fact, let's go back and set it to vertical stack. Take this text and set it to fill and also align to left. Great, so that's looking awesome. Now, I want this height of this banner to scale naturally. So right now it gets chopped. So the way you want to do that is take the entire parent layer and set it to fit content. Excellent. So I'm happy with that. Next up, let's customize this. Okay, so I notice over here, this is not set to fit either. So make sure that we reset these properties, reset override, so that it follows our follows this as well. So this needs to be set to fit. So I don't think it's been cropped. So I want to take this section over here and set that to fit as well. So it's not cropped over here. Excellent. So obviously always edit things in the parent. And if you do edit things on the child sizes, so the parent or the primary size is the desktop. If you edit things on the child versions, it'll only reflect on the child versions. Whereas if you edit it on the primary, it'll reflect on all the child pages, right? So sometimes the child elements gets detached. So you have to right click and reset the override so that it follows the parent, right? So remember that. We'll go to this hero section and we'll set the padding to 20 because It's a bit too much at the moment. Great, I'm happy with that. Now I want to make this navigation bar a bit more appropriate for this e-commerce site. Let's just say we're making a site on pink punk shoes. So that's our brand. In fact, let's just call it Pink Punk. That'll be cooler with a little full stop there. And let's set this to go to store, and about and contact is fine for now. We'll then turn this title to funky punky shoes with style. Yeah, and let's just, lame title, I know, it's the best I can come up with. Let's add the subtitle to be a blend of retro punk and the modern day teen on your feet. Okay, so that's my title. Great. We'll go to images and we'll add a placeholder image over here. I'll use the unsplash option and type pink shoes. Let's see if we can find something interesting. Ooh, this one looks pretty cool. We'll add that. Excellent. Now we'll scale this up and notice how beautifully responsive it is as I scale this image. So there's my header section. Great. So I've got the entire structure of my homepage set up. Now that I've got that, I can go ahead and duplicate it to add my second page, which will be the store page, right? So we'll call it store/store. So the store page will just be consisting of your product. So I'll delete the header section, the header image, and we'll call it store. I'll then take this text and make it a category link, which will make sense in a moment. So we'll split it into category. We'll actually use this as filters later on, right? I'm going to duplicate this for a second category, select both of them, frame them, add a layout, make it horizontal, and set it to fill, and set it to wrap, and also set the height to fit. And also I want to make the distribution to start from the beginning. I want the entire frame to be about 20 pixels to just give a bit more spacing. And I want this to have also around 24 pixels spacing between each other. So here's category 1, category 2. We don't need the social proof. We'll just go straight to the ecom section, like an ecom area where we can see the different products, and the idea is to split these into different filters, so you can filter through the products in the store page, right? So we'll set that up in a moment. Next up, we want to again duplicate the home page to create the main single product detail page, right? So for this detail page, what we're going to do is we're going to add all the functionalities of our ecom product item, right? So each product comes with its pricing, its title, and things like that. So let's go ahead and do that. So first things first, I want to take this layer and perhaps duplicate it. And I want to take both of these and, in fact, you know what I want to do is put the image inside the row and then duplicate these two, and then take the header section and make it horizontal. Excellent. So I'm happy with that. I want the image to be on the top of this section. So let's call this product name, and we can have like a little short description. We can delete this. We don't need this anymore. And this can be like a long description, but we'll need some Lauren Ibsen. Click that and paste it over here. So we've got our Lauren Ibsen text. So this is basically a detailed section to give more information about the product. Now, of course, you can see that the alignment is not great. So we want to take this whole section and align it to top. Great. I'm happy with that. Next up, we're going to, I think this text is too big. So let's go to styles and set it to paragraph size. Great. I'm happy with that. Okay, we need to fill in some more product details. So like we need, like, for example, a product category. So each category, let's make this bold and maybe the font size can be around 16, and it can be a bit of a lighter gray, around that much. I think it should be bolder. There we go. So we've got our category, and we can also set this to be a bit more spaced out, so 24 pixel space. Let's also add the price. So let's say this is $9, and I want the price to be stand out a little bit, so I'll use color and set it to pink since the theme is pink. And we can also set this to subtitle, or in fact title is better, so just a bit larger. Let's remove the style and set a custom color. Select it, set it to pink. All right, we also need a call to action button, so I'll steal it from this card over here. Copy that, and go over here and paste it here. Take these two, frame them, add a layout, make it a horizontal direction, set the height to fit, and this one is set to fill, which is exactly what I want. This can say something like buy now. Beautiful. And we'll also, you know what, let's make this set to fit actually. So it just pulls it in, and we'll align it to the start, and we'll give it a good generous space, like 24 pixels spacing. So there we go. There's a little call to action. I think the buy button here could be a bit bigger. So let's give it a nice chunky size, like 24 buy now, and we'll give the whole button a more generous size too, and set the height to fit. Maybe the top can be slightly less, so maybe like 16 on the top and bottom. There we go. So great, I'm happy with that. Bit more space between these two. Yeah. So there's the buy now button, short description. That's our product detail page ready to go. We can't have these sections right now because that will cause problems in the CMS. It's hard to explain, but you'll notice in a moment what I mean. Let's go ahead and hit play and see how this looks. Scale this image down, and firstly for this size, I guess this size is okay-ish, but this needs to be set to fill. There we go, that's better. And I think this mobile size needs to be stacked vertically, so it's much better. And this can be, you know what, let's lock the proportions, so it locks the proportions on all of the child sizes as well. This is much better in terms of responsiveness. Excellent, I'm happy with that. We're gonna call this product detail page. Excellent, so we've got all of our pages ready. Next up, what we're gonna do is connect the CMS to the product detail page, so it generates your product items automatically from the CMS, as well as the product featured cards that will be across your entire website from the homepage of the store. We're now going to set up the CMS. To do that, first we'll go to our product detail page, which is this one, and we'll have to convert this to a CMS page, right? There's so many ways to create a CMS page. You can go and click this add icon. You can go to the CMS itself, add a new CMS collection, or click this add icon over here. However, it's very important that we do it this way because we want this specific page to be converted to the CMS page so that we can use all the properties within this page that we created earlier, such as the price, the buy now button, the detailed content, etc. Right? So this will make sense in a moment. So I'll go ahead and go to the options, convert to CMS page, give the collection a name. We're going to call it Product Catalogue. Great, and we'll convert. Now notice what happened. We converted it, and all of those details have been recreated into custom fields for the CMS item. So here's a product catalog item that's automatically generated from that page, and you can see product name, product price, the category, and all those other details we added. Now we want to customize this so that's a bit more easier to understand. So we'll go to the options here, click edit field, and make the title should actually be a product name. The slug is automatically picked from the product name itself. Then we have the price, that's fine. Then we have title 2, I think is category. Title 3 is short description. And title 4 is something we don't need, which is a CTA button. So we'll go to edit fields, we'll delete title 4. And this can be basically the, so category, short description, product image, and this is going to be the detailed description. Excellent. Now that's functional. We can now fill this in with actual product details. So let's call it pink punk shoes. Let's give it price. Let's call it in the women's category, women. Short description. Hot pink with a urban edge. Say with an edgy urban edge, just edgy urban style. There we go. And this is fine. And this is just Lauren Ibsen. So this is an example of a product. We'll go ahead and save that. So that's all saved. Now let's duplicate this and create a couple more products. So let's do, I don't know, red punk shoes. Let's make it men. The category, let's call this red, fiery red with an edgy urban style. Save changes, boom. Let's do another one. Let's say let's just call it teal punk shoes. Delete the copy. And let's say soothing teal with an edgy urban style. Save changes. Let's do another duplicate. Let's call this green punk shoes. Let's call it earthy green with an edgy urban style. Let's make this women. Perfect. So we've got a few in the category of women, a few category men. Perfect. Happy with that. Let's go to our main page. Now notice how the product page, catalog page that we just created is automatically populating with the content from the CMS. So I can switch between this, go from green to teal to red, and the first one, which was pink punk shoes, right? So it's really amazing for you to now control your e-commerce store and add new items if you need new products. You can in fact go to the CMS, edit your previous products, etc. It's a very scalable way of managing your entire e-commerce store. Now, how do you handle the checkout process? So for that, you need to bring in your payment system. It could be through PayPal, Stripe, any fulfillment e-commerce solution that you're using from Shopify perhaps, and you want to link that over here. So we'll have to add one more custom field called link. So go here to the add menu, choose link, and we'll call it payment link. And this is where you'll be adding your payment processing link, which will go into a new tab and go from there. Now, of course, this right here needs to be connected to the payment link, which hasn't been done so yet. So we'll go to the button and make sure that we add the link over here, click this set variable and set it to payment link. So now that will automatically go to the link that you set up in your CMS for every product item. So this has been set up for price. This has been set up for title, short description. Everything's been set up and we're good to go. So now that we've done the entire kind of main e-commerce detail page, we need this to also reflect in your product cards. So to do that, we need to go to our layers, select the product card, one of the cards, right click and create a component first. So let's call this product card. Now we're going to have to create all the dynamic content. So if you remember, the first thing was product image. So we already got an image in this card by default. We need the product name. I think this could be a little bit bigger. So let's give it the title size if possible, or subtitle size. Yeah, that looks nice. Then we've got the short description. And then we got the CTA button by now. We also need the pricing and stuff like that. So let's go and add this duplicate and let's do $9. And let's take these two, frame them, add a layout, make it horizontal, height, fit content, fill content on the width, And this one can be a bit bigger, so let's make it subtitle size, break the style and add a pink so it looks consistent. I think the text is a bit too wide, so let's make it about 12 or even smaller, 8. Yeah, that was good. So buy now, product name, category card. Let's set this to fill because it's going to be important. The parent's height has been set to fixed to avoid collapse. So this, now the parent height is set to fixed. That's fine. I think we might need, actually I think that's fine. We're good to go from here. So let's go to the home page. And now notice how this card has been changed into a component. We don't need the rest of the cards. Now we need to connect this card to the CMS, right? To do that, we need to add dynamic variables on each of these layers so that they can be connected to the CMS. So let's start with the image. The image already has a dynamic variable over here. Let's just title it appropriately. So we'll call it product image. Great. Then we'll take the title, go on the right panel and edit panel, click the plus icon next to content, create variable, plain text. To create the dynamic variable, we'll call it product name, just as we did in the CMS. Over here, we need the dynamic variable plain text. Let's call it short description. And then the price variable, plain text. Price is automatically set by Framer. That's great. We got our link, so we'll go to link, dynamic variable, create variable, sets it automatically. We'll open it up and call it payment link, just to be more specific. Scroll is fine. New tab, no. We can actually set it to new tab if you prefer. So that's up to you. And next up, we also need the category. So let's go to our main product catalog and pick this text over here. Go back to our card and add it right inside here, and let's call it let's remove the text first and let's make it a bit smaller, like 12 font, really small. And I think it could be a little less bold as well, so let's make it semi-bold perhaps, just for this one. Medium, semi-bold, but maybe a little less, more spacing. Yeah. And yeah, 12 font looks great. So let's go give it dynamic content now, which is right over here. Create variable, plain text, and let's call it product category. Yeah. And let's move that next underneath the name. Fantastic. So there is our product card. Let's go to the home page and you can see it over here. Now we have to connect it to the CMS. To do that, go to insert menu, go to CMS collection list, and you can find the product catalog collection that we created earlier. We'll drag and drop this component next to the featured grid. Notice how it automatically creates those product listings we added earlier, but we don't want it in this layout, of course. So we'll go to the layers and delete this wrap. Okay, this is just the default style, and now the CMS item is empty, as you can see. You want to take this component and drag that into the collection list, delete the product wrapper underneath here. Notice how now the collection list with this new component has generated 4 cards automatically because there's 4 products, of course. We'll set this to fill, and we'll also make it a wrap collection. We'll take the card and set it to fit. That looks great. And we'll set the direction to horizontal. Beautiful. And we'll set the distribute to center. And there we go. So we've got a beautiful responsive layout for this product grid. I'm really happy with it, actually. Now we need to take the product card, which is this one. These are the generated ones, and this is what is the main one that we copied over. This will be generated for the other products in a moment, but we have to connect it. So we'll go on the right-hand panel where you see component, click the add button next to product image, set product image. Same for this, set product name, set product category, which is down here, set short description, set price, and finally set payment link. Boom, there we go. Beautifully responsive. Now there are some issues, as you can see over here. We've set this to fit, but it looks like it's not giving the right padding for some reason. I'm not entirely sure. So let's go and see what's going on over here. This has been set to fixed, but I think this thing over here should be set to fit the main section over here. And let's go back here and see what's happened now. So that, okay, let's stretch this out and see what's going on with the layout. Let's set it to anchor to the top. Now let's go back to this page. This has been stretched a bit strangely, so that's not how we want it necessarily. We want this to be fit content and this to be fill fit content. Let's see what happens now. There we go. So that's what I was hoping. So we got this perfect layout over here, beautifully responsive, right? Let's go and test out the responsiveness. We'll hit play. Beautiful. So we got this entire e-commerce responsive website. You can go ahead and populate your logos and other things in your own time, of course, but this is exactly how the main e-commerce store functions. Now, last but not least, we need to also set up the store page, right? So this is where your filters for different categories will come into place. And you can also set up this section to be a featured section, so you can have control of what shows on the homepage. Let's do that now. To do that, we're going to select the collection over here that we created earlier, copy it and paste it in the store page first. And then we can go ahead and delete this component. We don't need that anymore. Now we want this to filter across this category of products over here, right? So the way you want to do that is right now we have all, we have women, and we also have men. Okay. So we want this to become a component. So we'll right click, create component, and let's call it filters. Now, this needs to be linked to the main store page, all, right? And we'll set a style to it. We'll set it to the main link style. We'll edit the style to be a bit more appropriate. So the default color will be white. It'll be gray. And the hover color will be pink. And the current color will be pink. So if you're in that particular page or filter, it'll be pink. And what we want to do is duplicate this twice. So we'll have a store 2, which will in fact be store women, and a store for men, which will be men. Now we'll go back to this component and make sure that these are also linked to its appropriate category. So store women, perfect, and style will be link. And this one, same thing, link, store men, style will be link. Perfect. So let's go back to our store now. Now this needs to be filtered according to the page that you're on. So let's say store all will be, of course, everything. So there won't be any filter added to the CMS content section. But for women, we got to filter it out. So we'll take this collection, make sure we're selecting the collection list. On the right hand side, we'll go to CMS content filters, choose category equals women. There we go. So 2 filtered for women, exactly how we wanted it. And for men, we're going to do the same thing. Repeat this process. Filters, choose category equals type men, which is the category that we added. And notice how it gets filtered to just the men section. See the categories in the card. Beautiful. Now, once we go ahead and play this website now, you'll notice how if you go to the store page, which we connected in this menu earlier, takes you to the store. You can see all the products from all. If I go to women, it'll just show you women's. And if I go to men, it'll just show you men's. So you've got a fully controllable e-commerce store. The only thing that's left to do now is for you to go in your CMS and paste the appropriate payment links in here so you can take them to that checkout process. Once you've pasted that, of course, you can choose it to go to a new tab or stay within the tab. There are other methods that I might show in another video to create the checkout process within a pop-up. Even though it's from an external platform like Shopify, you can do an iframe embed, which I'll probably do in a future video. But this is essentially how you use your entire CMS to create a fully functional e-commerce store, complete with a store page and filters, complete with the singular product page, which we actually forgot to link. So let's go ahead and do that just before we finish this video. We have to link these cards. So you have the buy now card, which takes you to the payment link. But if they click the card itself, we need to make sure that it goes to the store, single store page. And to do that, what you want to do is add a second link, maybe on the image itself. So we can add a link to set variable, and we'll just create a new variable that has nothing on it, set like nothing particular. We can title it to go to product page link. So we know what it is. We'll go to home and set this now over here to reflect as current item CMS slug, right? So what will happen now is on hover, we can make sure that we take the user to that page when they click the image, right? All right, so we had to add a hover state so that when the card is hovered on with your mouse, it looks like it's clickable. So we'll go ahead and do that. We'll click, we'll make the shadow, for example, increase the diffusion to about 10, about 1, and we'll also increase this to about 25% on the hover state. Go back to home, and if you go and hit play, you'll notice that you've got this little interaction, right? Now that you've set that up, there's two experiences for the user. They can simply go from the home page to a single product detail page by clicking the image, or click the buy button to just go directly to checkout. If they click the image, they'll go to this fully fledged product detail page where they can learn more information. You yourself as the e-commerce store owner can add images, videos in this detailed content section. Just before we move on, we also have to make sure that this homepage product section needs to be filtered according to what's featured. So to do that, we need to go into the CMS and add a featured toggle. So let's go into one of the product listings. We'll go to our custom fields and we'll edit fields, and we'll add a new field called toggle. We'll call it featured. It's already been set to featured automatically. We'll move this to the top of the order and move it. And notice how everything is featured. Let's remove one from featured, like the red one. Let's remove it from featured, and we'll go back to our home page. Here we can go to filters, choose, and make it only featured. So you got these options already from the toggle itself. We'll call it just featured, and notice how it just limits it to those 3 products that are featured, right? So that's how you create a featured section inside of your homepage. That's pretty much it, guys. We're going to give you a copyable file, as Framer calls it, a remix version of this file that we just created in this tutorial in the description below. That's it for now. Go ahead and create your e-commerce store with Framer. Take care. Bye. Thanks, guys. Hope you really enjoyed this tutorial. Now, before you leave, we have a bunch of free templates in the description of this video, so go check them out. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Also, we've got a couple of recommended videos that you should check out somewhere around in this video, so do check them out. I'm sure you're going to dig them. That's it for now. Keep building.